Happy birthday, Sagittarius. The sun's ingress in the sign of Sagittarius is a birthday blessing for the Archer. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. Sagittarius is the natural 9th house of life path meaning, and that affects everyone in their natural 9th house, and therefore knowing what planet your natal chart shows was present in your 9th house at the time of your birth, as well as current planetary placements in the Zodiac house of the 9th house, the natural 9th house, will give you a heads up on what you can expect when the Archangel of the Sun, that is Michael or Michael, Prince of Angelic Hosts, enters into the astrology house of Sagittarius, corresponding to the zodiac angel Adnachiel. This gives you the ability to be inspirational when it comes to your chosen life path issues, career goals, finding your twin flame, and spiritual awakening opportunities, bringing you into a more authentic inner self, your more childlike nature, and more creative self that you will always consider to be your best characteristics, acclaimed by everyone lucky enough to call themselves your friend. Or really others who might just be putting their trust in you because they want your instruction. They want your teachings and your knowledge. They feel that you have the answers to life's questions, and they might have doubted you in the past, but they don't any longer. Because during the age of Aquarius, your very precise knowledge and your very easy understanding of the nature, the true nature of what makes human beings really tick, that is the point where everybody has gotten with the sign of Sagittarius. People finally understand that you knew best all along. So this is going to be a great eon of Aquarius, because your Jupiterian nature is needed with this Saturnian intense influence. Now, this gives you also a future that is well assured when the sun transits the sign of Sagittarius, the Archer. You decide when you will accept the generosity of your suitors and even your fans, showcasing your abundance provided by your intoxicating magical current, bolstering the very life force towards the cooperation necessary to ensure loyal relationships and constructive circumstances. Ultimately, all creatures seek the same thing, being the establishment of a wildly entertaining kingdom or queendom of their own that can be brought into a state of pure fun, always seeking to sustain the ability to engage in amusement for gaining eternal bliss, never to be sullied by boredom. In this way, the spiritual kingdom of God's great glory is built, governed, and sustained throughout the 1,000-year reign of a sovereign king. Noble persons and beasts gain glory due to the supreme establishment of their name, recorded in the chronicles of herstory. Now, herstory is unbelievably spectacular, and you have to understand that it's very different from history, because herstory is at the very core of mitochondrial DNA. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Now, these spectacular performances are going to propel you to great generosity towards your chosen beneficiary, because you have enjoyed the excellent outcomes of planning, then executing goals necessary for making your imaginings come true, bringing them from the realm of the all-potential morphogenic field into the now 6th-dimensional reality in which we all together find ourselves being a galactic establishment firmly rooted in the Sephira of Tiferet. Hope in those you know to be righteous through your own familiarity is the most imperative hub of the matter. Now, during this transit of the sun through the sign of Sagittarius, the future looks bright, very bright indeed, for those who have been faithful. So rejoice and go for the gusto. Give it all you got. Abundance in your own competency allows you to fully understand others, cheering up their moods with your own amazingly insightful observations about how you perceive things to be. You seek to enlighten lesser creatures with the enjoyment of increasing their popularity through giving them a superior view of how they just might become as recognized and as lucky as you in the participation of God's own Camelot, won by the power of Excalibur, now freed from the stone by the rightful heir to the throne. This is where Sagittarius shines most brightly, because you understand that the temperament of the universal mind, which is a predictable outcome, of course, of sustainable resources gotten from those who have plenty, being always and ever abundant. You've gotten yourself into a situation where you feel that you've become the most appealing of all personalities and of all the other signs of the zodiac. Again, they need your Jupiterian aspect during the age of Aquarius ruled by Saturn. Very important. Now, those who you most entertain and who find you most amusing are people who have a lot to offer, and people who are in themselves abundant and a cornucopia for others with their ability to bestow to others. You've got an appealing way about you, and you don't contract from a dare, but rather find your inner self when called upon to be kind of tough for those that haven't the advantage of your life know-how, your comprehension, or your enduring character. Friendliness has gotten you and your charm, but also a firm hand has gotten you a wonderful family, great friends, acquaintances, and an important sort of a roster of people who are significant in life, who have clout that you can rely on, and who can rely on you because of your sort of hold down the fort attitude that only becomes stronger when others show their Achilles heel. Do what you want to do because everyone else is going to be doing exactly what they want to do. Where your self-respect is concerned at this time, you hold people in high regard that show substantial heroics, leaving insubstantial anxious types to wallow in desolate behavior perpetrated by their own demons, eternally sentenced to self-examination contrived by their own double-dealing appetites. Conspiracy theory types are not your favorite associations in any situation. But, with that said, their double-dealing appetites have you in a situation where sometimes you might find that you find them sort of intriguing in a romantic way, or even in a if it's not romantic, sort of a mystical way. Sagittarius, you don't like to be contradicted. That's the thing you really cannot abide. And the reason for that is that you don't want to feel that you're being made to have to obey others. You prefer instead to rule over what you consider to be your own superior existence. This transit of the sun in Sagittarius commands the fortuitous energies of the birthday gemstone we all adore to gaze upon, as they emanate potent light frequencies of compelling hues, bringing out the distinctiveness of our own zodiacal facets, because we're all basking in the sun being in Sagittarius, creating in us ever more angelic vectors of the highest virtuous resonance. You're unstoppable during this voyage of soul's current travels, generating modern ideas that sort of max out the mind's eye of everyone you become close to, because you are teaching them how to labor in a smarter way rather than allowing themselves to be fooled into an unhappy life of toil and drudgery. At this time, it's important to remember that all the goals you've set for yourself this time around is imperative, that they're very much on the chopping block or the next up to be lifted up. So you're either going to get lifted up or you're going to be axed off, and you're going to have to start all over again. So just understand that, and you feel that and you understand that, but you're trying to think that maybe you can have your cake and eat it too. And if anyone can have their cake and eat it too, it would be you. And it would be anyone during this time. So if that's what you're attempting to do, this is the time when you would want to do that. It's also important to remember at this juncture that the goals that you've set for yourself are something that you need to take credit for. Give yourself some credit once in a while because you've earned it. Give yourself a pat on the back. And give yourself another chance to attain everything you hope to unleash of your own creativity, which up till now and up to this time might have been suppressed by your own subconscious. See, the subconscious will get in there and it will force you to comply with what you consider to be the norm. But understand that everything you behold is your own creation. And once you understand that, you'll know you're dealing with yourself. And in Kabbalah, in Rosicrucian Kabbalah, they tell us to understand that only the other is the I, not that which is inside yourself. It is the same, but when you see everybody else as I instead of yourself, then you take care of others as you would take care of yourself, and you've attained loving your neighbor as yourself. And then the next goal is to love the Lord thy God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul. And that you'll find out how that works when you have to then rely on the Lord your God, and when he over and over and over again comes through and bestows his mercy to you, which he indeed does every time. Because of that, you're unstoppable. And if you're Sagittarius, when the sun's in Sagittarius, you're unstoppable. And if you have any of your rising sign or major planets, then you're also unstoppable. Now, the sun and the moon used to be called ancient planets, so the moon counts too, but that's more your emotion and your subconscious. But just understand that this is a time of benevolence because of the planet Jupiter, and a time of generosity, great bestowal, the great generous king who gained his kingdom through either inheritance, and we'll get into that a little bit later on, or through sort of deals made, was thrust upon him because he was the best man for the job, because no one else was really good enough. So he was sort of roped into it. Now also, remember to give yourself more and more gifts. And don't forget to reward yourself. Again, give yourself more credit. And also, this is a time for measuring all the things you've set up for yourself to do in your life path, which are highlighted during this transit, because it's the house of life path, meaning the natural ninth house. Now, adding plenty of good exercise routines and plenty of rest and relaxation, as well as good hearty food, is valuable at this juncture. Be sure to check with your physician or your certified nutritionist. Home, family, and career are trouble-free for you if you make sure to stick with the essentials without getting overly alarmed about what others think of you, because God helps those who help themselves. One need not stay too far away from one's own comfort zone, but rather make them come to you and make them come into your territory where you have the home field advantage. In any case, There's bound to be a plethora of misunderstandings creating all types of petty drama ripe for the timetables of cheeky gossips, and most likely, they most likely are going to be people that are right in your own hometown that you probably have not even been aware of, and who are most likely small-minded types who like to nip at your heels, hoping for some reaction from you since they prefer negative attention rather than being ignored. Neighborhood or community meetings or groups have also become plentiful. This is an incredible time to take advantage of those who have become fascinated by you, and so fascinated that before now they've really not been agreeable to your suggestions or ideas because they've been sort of overwhelmed. Now, every dog has its day, as they say. People are more self-absorbed than ever. They are. During the sun's travels through the sign of the Archer, many people seek Sagittarius out for ways to enjoy a more expansively intelligent lifestyle. Now, some people have already gotten their life to the point where they've planned ahead of time, and they're not the types that sit around and wait for people to get around to doing whatever. They prepare well ahead of time. And those are the type of people that really do the best, because when situations come around, they're ready. What could be better than having everybody use you? I mean, that's what dreams are made of. If everybody wants to use whatever it is you're creating, that's the best thing. Because is not a pencil at its happiest when being used to write a fabulous novella rather than sitting idly by in a drawer somewhere? Would the pencil not rather be behind the ear of a master builder? The gift of God is science meant not to replace Him, but to be an expression of His love for humankind, so that we learn how to bestow all desires placed within our hearts from the beginning of time to ourselves. For example, your father could build a house for you, but if he really loves you, he will teach you how to build one for yourself, so you may feel the pleasure of being a creator rather than a mere creature. Capable individuals are always in demand, especially now at this present time when so many people are over-eager to please and so emotional about it, yet they remain woefully unskilled, these types, when it comes to technical matters. You have to be good technically. You have to have some skill and know-how if you want to do well during the age of Aquarius, but you'll be able to really get that more under your belt when the sun is transiting to the natural ninth house, akin to the sign of Sagittarius the Archer. If you find yourself around a bunch of emotionally unstable people who respond constantly with anger or attempt to pick fights with you, then take this as a hint that they're just not the type of people that you should be dealing with, no matter what and or who you consider them to be, and just move on, because there are greener pastures out there. You don't have to sit around and just deal with the petty and the ridiculous and people that really are probably have some kind of psychological or mental problem. They might be bipolar or who knows. So just get out of those kind of situations. It's not necessary. And by the way, what's wrong with lemons? They're great. If you had a chance once in a while to really understand why people are so much into sort of picking on people, it's just because they think that they're picking on someone who's weak. And when they find out they're not picking on someone who's weak, they freak out. And they start swearing and they start losing their cool. Or they're so ashamed they can't even look at you in the eye, can they? So what you do is you just be strong, look people square in the eye, call them on things, but keep yourself well within legal boundaries. And just, again, move along to people who are more intelligent and more agreeable, and people who are emotionally stable, and people who are mentally well. We're biological robots. We automatically learn from our mistakes. The Creator made us that way. You just have to sort of rise above your own ego. You build ego up, and you rise above it. You build ego up, you rise above it, so that you're looking at your ego as if it's something objectified, not subjectified, or not if that's a word, not subjective. So again, you got to build yourself up, because you have to have a healthy, what I like to call your own personality matrix, or your ego matrix. No one is going to be able to take your energy from you unless you allow it. So put a hermetic seal on your inner strength and learn how to increase your life force by understanding how nature reinvigorates herself constantly. This is the time to give free rein to all of your most tempting qualities, the ones you've been counting on to put you over the top of your game, because it is your game. Now, this is a significant moment in time that should be used with maximum determination to reach life's brass ring. Being a winner has never been more plausible for you. The body of light must be exercised and honed, just as the physical body must be, having a consecrated promise held close to one's open heart, because life's most assuredly will attract the best of us to become who we truly are. And that's who we're meant to be. You will gain even more skills through the development of your body of light and acquire perceptions of inner dimensions as well as the higher planes of existence through strict practice of your ability to see auric fields of any person, creature, or plant, for even gemstones have auras. You might think you know what you want, but then feel unsatisfied because you're not really telling people what it is that you truly want or what it is you truly desire. You have to tell them what you want. Emanation of the light from the crown chakra bursts forth into a brilliant show of brightness in an outpouring of celestial light from the spiritual part of ourselves, especially important during soul's transit through the sign ruled by the planet Jupiter, with Sagittarius the Archer being the daytime dwelling of the Jupiterian attributes of benevolence and generosity, influencing the charitable and expansive qualities of the Sun during this transit, with desires for abundance, riches, wealth, and health for all creatures, great and small. Jupiter radiates the frequencies of the Archangel Sachiel, and also the Archangel Zadkiel or Hesediel, often named Zadkiel, or described in Kabbalah as being the angel that dispenses God's divine mercy of freedom towards the state of humankind. Jupiterian planetary angels are they that God appoints to fulfill desires in the creature towards open-handedness, health, abundance, and rich rewards, according to Kabbalah, thereby allowing for freedom and benevolence brought forth by new attainments and yearning for ever more gifts of plenty. Jupiter radiates the frequencies of the Archangel Zadkiel, according to Hebrew texts, as opposed to Zadkiel. Zadkiel and Tzadkiel are not the same. So be careful of the pronunciation and of the spelling, because it changes it ever so slightly. Now, in these Hebrew texts where he is one of the Zadkiel, it was one of the angelic order of the dominions, argued by many to be the head thereof. According to rabbinic lore, he is thought by some to be the angel who stopped Abraham from sacrificing his son due to his qualities of compassion. Some people think it's one angel, some think it's another, but it's worth noting here because of the merciful qualities. Most adepts involved in Rosicrucian Kabbalah assign the Jupiterian aspect to the Sefer of Chesed, sometimes spelled with an H and sometimes with a CH. And again, the spelling is important when you're using it for magical purposes. Or sometimes it's called Gedula, which is found on the Pillar of Mercy, comprising the sphere of the Roman god Jupiter, the Hebrew god El, or the Greek god Zeus, with forefather archetypes representing the benevolent king, who either inherited his kingdom from a loving father or had his kingdom thrust upon him by those who threw off a cruel king or queen. The Sephirah of Chesed is where we find the choir of angels called the Chasmalim. Kindly events occur here, with this Sephirah acting as a lush oasis of comfort and plenty afforded by the divine, substantial, angelic realms, best understood through a thorough understanding of the philosophy of Summum Bonum, a dissertation on the principles of creation and the highest good. This critique grants previously hidden knowledge to the adept, acting as an important storehouse of knowledge as well as a source from whence you may derive what is termed to be forbidden knowledge. And forbidden is something that is unattainable. When it becomes attainable, it is no longer forbidden. One attains something when one is able to comprehend it. Now we've done the lights here for a moment because we want to show you the tarot card that's associated with Sagittarius. It's the Temperance card. It's a little hard to see unless we dim the lights for you. As you see, it's an angel. And the angel stands with one foot in the sea and the other foot on the land. So when you're pathworking the Temperance card in the tarot, one must observe and gain insight from the angelic being that stands with one foot upon the earth and the other in the waters. The wings of the angel show the card as being representative of the superego or the higher self. The foot immersed in the water is archetypal of the subconscious mind or the emotions and feeling nature of humankind. The foot resting upon the shore is the archetypal symbol for the practical world, the 3D realm, or having to do with mundane reality. The angel balances all things, acting as a mediator, able to take passionate emotions and mix them with a cold, unfeeling temperament in the two cups, allowing for fairness, unburdened by the extremes of sheer logic or overly sappy emotive behavior. So this is the card that best describes, and we're going to turn the lights back up here, that best describes the natural ninth house of life path meaning and Sagittarius. The sun ingress the sign of Sagittarius brings the generous light of the benevolent king through the Zodiac angel, the archangel, the astrology archangel, who is Adnakiel, the Zodiac angel, in league with Jupiter's planetary angel, Sachiel, granting you the power of abundance to gift others with your knowledge and understanding about how to obtain the best in life, all the best things in a cornucopia through the kingdom in which we now place ourselves. Many may say that the best things in life are free, and that's especially true during this transit, where both earthly and heavenly realms will be understood to comprehend why and how things will continue to improve from here on out and for a very, very long time to come. Mystical capabilities will now be even greater than before due to how much attentiveness has gone into preparing for just this type of astrological event. Realize that reality is but a dream you yourself conjure with desires fulfilled by your own bright new thoughts as portions of the mind open up, expressing themselves in the area of life path meaning found in the natural ninth house of the zodiacal wheel, being God's great universal clock. Expect people to be mystifying, generous, and ready to help in any way they can, beginning with this ingress. Mystery, magic, and rich rewards are all awfully necessary to the sensibilities of the frequencies found in the realm of Adnachiel, who is the zodiac angel of Sagittarius. The natural ninth house, likened to the sign of Sagittarius, allows for the charm of the sun's resonance with the sign of the archer as soul travels through the zodiac. This is especially true since Jupiter has so much to offer when combined with the brilliance of his own sun, known as soul. Consider the relationship of Jesus Christ and God the Father to get to the real crux of the matter. Spiritual life from the Father is attributed, and it's a quality that appears to promote Christ the Son himself. As the Son, Jesus, reflects the light of the Father from which he emanates. Here we locate the central point at which the sun is encouraged, along with the other stars as well as with the orbiting planets, which are being drawn in towards the brilliance of soul, for even the Father is drawn towards the radiance of the sun. So although Jupiter is a ruling planet, because the sun is now transiting through your sign, you have the influence of the Archangel Michael, and also not only Sachiel and Hesediel, but also Michael, who rules over the sun, so because the sun's in Sagittarius. The sun now allows for everyone together to enjoy creating new life path meanings, which are now willing to propel each one of us towards being fully, happily, cheerful, individual parts of the whole, or the entire universal creature created by the creator of the universe. Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter, which is vast and powerful, so be ready to receive abundantly. Again, a great cornucopia. Now watch this. Here are the words of our Lord Jesus Christ in the Gospel of St. John, chapter 14, where he says to Philip, "He that seeth me seeth the Father also." Now the sun, the archangel for the sun, soul, is Michael or Michael, the archangel, the planetary angel, gives his light to, also an archangel of the four corners of the south, he gives his generous light and his abundance, as well as his healthy and heartiness, to the individuals who are benevolent and kind and understanding and merciful, making everyone feel welcome with their jubilant countenance and charming personality bestowed for the prosperity of everyone encountered. Kindness achieves much during this transit, with simple please and thank you being all that's required to receive a great bounty of rewards. Moving forward with hearty assurance through the light summoned by merciful actions generously bestowed grants abundant amounts of opportunity for humans, animals, and the earth during this transit of soul through the natural ninth house, where new life paths are charted out, as well as new meaning gleaned from experience. A little bit of gratitude goes a long, long way at this time, bringing much bounty to the inhabitants of the realm of the natural ninth house of life path meaning, in the sign of Sagittarius, again associated with the archangel, the zodiac archangel, astrology angel Adnachiel. That's the astrology and zodiac angel, the planetary angel being Sachiel for Jupiter and Michael for the sun. Now moving forward with hearty assurance through the light summoned by merciful actions, generously bestowed grants abundant amounts of opportunity for humans, animals, again, and the earth. The astrology angel magic evocation for the sun in Sagittarius, planetary archangel correspondences. We have, again, Michael for soul, the sun. He is God, the sun. We use the perfume or the incense or the oil of frankincense, clove. The gemstone would be citrine or sunstone, ruby, yellow or orange diamonds. The Hebrew letter is Resh, Psalm 119, verses 153 to 160. Ecclesiastes 11:7 can be used. The light is sweet, and it is delightful for the eyes to see the sun. Daniel 12:1-3 we read, "But at that time shall Michael rise up, the great prince, who standeth for the children of thy people, and a time shall come which such as never was from the time that nations began, even until that time, and at that time shall thy people be saved, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of those that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some unto life everlasting, and others unto reproach, to see it always. But they that are learned shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that instruct many to justice as stars for all eternity." In Matthew 17:2, well, watch this. "And he was transfigured before them, and his face did shine as the sun, and his garments became white as snow." Zodiac angel correspondences. We have Sagittarius again, Adnachiel, zodiac angel. The archangel, the astrology archangel, Adnachiel. This is associated, the popular association is the tribe of Benjamin. And we use for the perfume or the incense or the oil anise or frankincense, hyssop, juniper berries, spikenard, cedarwood. The gemstone would be turquoise. Samak is the Hebrew letter. Psalm 119 verses 113 to 120. In Genesis, that would be what you use for the psalm, for Samak, the Hebrew letter. For Sagittarius, the tribe of Benjamin, Genesis 49:27, again, that's the tribe of Benjamin correspondence, while some magi use the tribe of Simeon for Sagittarius' zodiacal association. Another tribe sometimes attributed to the sign of Sagittarius is Gad, but mostly, again, Benjamin. It's good to note here that the signs of the zodiac are associated with the Hebrew lunar solar calendar, with the Sagittarius sign corresponding to the month of Kislev. For the tribe of Benjamin, popular association recite Genesis 49:27. This is the Dewey Rheims Bible version. "Benjamin, a ravenous wolf, in the morning shall eat the prey, and in the evening shall divide the spoil." The adept should use the tribe of Israel correspondence that best represents his or her own expression of mutable fire for the invocation or evocation of the zodiac angel of Sagittarius, who is Adnachiel, calls to the angelic realm, should fill the adept's sphere of sensation with the desired goal. This attribute is more important than following any prescribed instruction, though tradition provides necessary as well as welcome structure to any system of Rosicrucian high magic performed. The general biblical associations for the protection rite that you would want to use if you were just wanting to get something that was for protection, which you can really use at any time, actually. Romans 6:22-23, we read, "But now, being made free from sin and become servants to God, you have your fruit unto sanctification and the end life everlasting. For the wages of sin is death, but the grace of God, life everlasting in Christ Jesus, our Lord." Remember that words have the power to heal as sure as any other form of medicinal elixir, tincture, or treatment. Attain the immortal universal soul by fulfilling the needs of the other with the highest good possible at every moment of choice, and watch all other facets of your life bear fruit, such as the tree of life, most often associated with an olive tree, which is an actual constellation found in the heavens, mentioned in Revelation 22:2. "In the midst of the street thereof, and on both sides of the river, was a tree of life, bearing 12 fruits, yielding its fruits every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of nations." A disclaimer is in order here. High magic might be dangerous. This is intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, and join us again next time. We'll see you soon.